Hemp, hot temperatures, and hot dogs made the headlines this week, and we have those details.
Those stories and more are coming up in this edition of Friday Five, presented by Nebraska Corn Board.
As Saturday marks 50 years since Apollo 11 astronauts landed on the moon, the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council celebrated one of the first foods eaten by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin Jr. on their monumental mission.
Wednesday marked National Hot Dog Day, and while the hot dogs served on the moon were specially produced for a reduced gravity environment, today there are earthbound hot dogs for everyone, with millions of different possible hot dog toppings and combinations.
A standard beef hot dog is 190 calories and offers 7 grams of protein and 30% of our daily value of vitamin B12.
Moving on, Corn Congress was held in Washington, D.C. this week, where corn farmers from across the nation discussed policy and issues that are important to producers and agriculture as a whole.
At the event, U.S. Senator Fischer was awarded the President's Award from the National Corn Growers Association. This award is presented to a leader who has worked to advance issues that are important to corn growers and agriculture as a whole.
NCGA says that Senator Fischer has been an advocate for year-round sales of E15, and in her remarks, she also spoke about the pending U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement.
Number 3 this week, 176 applications were submitted to the Nebraska Department of Agriculture for a state hemp license. 132 of those after combining for the same location. Of those 132, only 10 applications were drawn at random to actually receive a license.
Director of Ag Steve Wellman said that 10 was all the state could handle based on human and financial resources. And one of those 10 was granted to the Ho-Chunk Farms, which is owned by the Winnebago tribe.
That farm will start growing hemp this summer on the reservation. They'll start with 5.5 acres of hemp, and they say they expect planting to start in the coming weeks.
Moving on, Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin is calling on President Trump to stop making false claims regarding China purchasing U.S. ag products.
In a letter, she wrote that exaggerated claims about export opportunities make doing business in agriculture difficult.
Last month, the president claimed Mexico had agreed to immediately begin buying large quantities of ag products from U.S. farmers, and more recently claiming that China would buy ag products. But so far, there's been no evidence for details supporting those claims, and trade experts say no agreement on ag products exists.
And finally this week, well, if you haven't noticed, it's hot, like really hot out.
It's really hot. This June was the hottest June in 140 years of temperature records, that according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Us humans are not the only creatures trying to beat the heat, as agriculture producers know. Beef veterinarians from across the Midwest are urging producers to not only provide more water to animals, but consider providing most of the cattle feed later in the day to help reduce digestive heat.
According to Kansas State, the beef industry loses an estimated $369 million each year due to the effects of heat stress.
You can beat the heat this weekend by celebrating National Ice Cream Day. That's on Sunday. And be sure to stay tuned to next week on our Friday Five as we celebrate ice cream.
That's it for this week's episode, brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Stay cool and have a great weekend.
This is Mike. Mike likes his car. Mike likes to save money. And Mike likes to breathe. So Mike fills up with E15 with 15% American ethanol. The clean octane in E15 gives Mike the performance he wants from his engine and the clean air he wants for his family. Better yet, E15 costs less at the pump. Higher octane, cleaner air, lower cost. E15 sure gives Mike a lot to like. Discover E15 with American ethanol.